Well, a massive showdown has erupted after academic and Indian origin UK professor Nitasha Kaul was denied entry into India. The professor revealed she was invited by the Karnataka government to be part of a two-day convention. But after she landed in Bengaluru, she was stopped at the airport for hours and then deported from the country. In a lengthy post on social media X, she detailed her 72-hour ordeal, claiming she was denied entry because of her criticism of the RSS in the past. Nitasha Kaul also claimed that she was invited by the Karnataka government to address Constitution and National Unity Convention 2024 in the state. Her travel and logistics had all been arranged by the Karnataka government, but with no advance information from Delhi, she was stopped at the airport. She also said that while the immigration gave her no specific reason for the action, they said there were orders from Delhi, unquote, and informally made references to her criticism of the RSS in the past as well. The issue took a political turn, with the BJP slamming the academic and as anti-national and questioning the Congress government for extending an invite to Nitasha Kaul. The BJP has accused the Congress government of misusing taxpayers' money to channel funds to anti-nationals trying to destabilize India ahead of elections this year. The Congress, though, claimed it was an attack on freedom of speech. Listen in to both the versions.
संविधान के बारे में बात किया नहीं, केवल मोदी जी को निंदा किया है। निंदा करना मतलब संविधान का मजबूत करना होता है क्या? ब्रेकिंग इंडिया कुछ लोगों को बुला करके, ब्रेकिंग इंडिया फोर्स देश में भी है, देश के बाहर में भी है। इंडियन गवर्नमेंट सही किया है।
Just because she doesn't subscribe to your ideology, is this dictatorship in the country today? Is there no freedom of expression? Is there no freedom to participate in a debate on Constitution? So this is an insult to the 6.5 crore Kannadigas who elected a government, and that government invites an academic, and this central government headed by Mr. Modi, belonging to BJP, denies her the entry.
While the Congress claimed it was a crackdown on critics, government sources confirmed that she was deported for backing anti-India lobby and taking a pro-terror stand in the past. In fact, in several of her works, Nitasha Kaul also mentions Kashmir as India-administered Kashmir, claiming brutal suppression of Kashmiri aspirations. This despite J&K seeing a sea of transformation after the abrogation of Article 370. She's also claimed Ram Mandir has been built in a site of conflict as part of the government's Hindu nation narrative, despite the fact that the Mandir construction began only after the land dispute was settled in the top court of the country. The BJP reminded the Congress of her anti-India stance, while the Congress said the actions reek of dictatorship.
She might be a noted writer. All the people who write things need not write the right things. They might write the wrong things also. She has an anti-India mindset. She is pro-Pakistan. All her talks and all her writings about giving the Kashmir back to Pakistan. She has spewed poison about India's constitution, democracy and everything. Such a person, you invite her to come to Karnataka to give a talk on the constitution itself, that doesn't make any sense. And India should not allow such anti-India mindset.
This shows, what type of democracy is there in our country. How do they respect the constitution? What is the freedom of speech? So if they try to suppress them, this is not a good thing for our country. But in a case, our government itself trying to suppress their rights, it is condemnable.
Let's quickly open this up. We have BJP spokesperson Mohan Vishwa with us, along with activist Lalit Ambardar. Also with us is political consultant Nikhil Jain and political analyst Tadil Nazir Khan. Nikhil Jain, to you first. Since this controversy is broken out in Karnataka, and we've seen the two versions come out very clearly, both from the BJP and the Congress, an invite was sent by the Karnataka government. Though Nitasha Kaul has been sent back, she was not allowed entry to India. She's come out with her own version, and we're seeing social media also flooded with a host of reactions. But why is it that today so many people are pained by her not being able to attend this convention, not being able to go ahead with her address, because she's a person who's called Kashmir occupied by India, not once, on multiple occasions, has spoken against abrogation of 370, has also spoken of how minorities continue to suffer in India time and again. Why is this section's heart bleeding so much on entry being denied to Ms. Kaul?
Prithvi, it's not about entry being denied to a certain individual. It is about to that specific individual. It is more about the concept and the principle behind it. That anybody who speaks against the Narendra Modi government or their ideology or the things that they've been doing wrong is somebody who can not be allowed to enter into India. First of all, when you raise the point about the fact that she refers to our Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir as Indian administered Kashmir, may I let your viewers know that every international document mentions our side of the Kashmir as Indian administered Kashmir and their side or the POK as Pakistan administered Kashmir. It is nothing new.
But why are we bothered by what the world views and how the world views Kashmir? Nikhil Jain, why are we bothered about how the world views Kashmir? Is Kashmir not a part of India? Is it not integral to India?
15, what are you talking about? In that case, then I think we need to prohibit the entry of every single foreigner in this country. We consider Kashmir as an integral part of India. The Congress party does, the BJP does, I do, you do, everybody on this panel does. But that cannot change the reality in the international community, that the international community still refers to the two parts as Indian administered and Pakistan administered. Both the countries call the other part the occupied part, but the international community calls it administered. I am not here to debate whether Kashmir is an integral part of India or not, because we believe it is. I believe it is. My friends from the BJP also believe the same. So as for the Congress. But the point about her writings pointing to discrimination being suffered by minorities in this country is not something that only, a Indian origin person living in the United Kingdom is writing. It's also people from India writing within India. It's
Lalit Ambadkar, do you agree with Nikhil Jain? Do you not think this is dangerous or can be dangerous? Do you think the Congress in Karnataka has nothing to do with, the kind of invite that's been sent? A background check wasn't important. The kind of statements that have been made by this certain person in the past hold no importance whatsoever.
First of all, I want to convey to your listeners, your subscribers, that it's being sensationalized that she's a Kashmiri Pandit. Let me recall Veer Savarkar. He had said what he's wary of is Hindus against Hindus. And she's one of those Hindus who is Hindu-phobic, India-phobic. And ironically, her most of anti-India criticism, I repeat, pro-Jihad, Kashmir Jihad writings and works have been prior to 2014. This was during the Congress rule. And she was a frequent visitor. Can you imagine? She has spoken, and she's a professor at the Westminster University in UK, where she had a seminar. I've heard it myself. She was party to that when a statement was made the Indian film industry is making mockery of Kashmiri citizens in their film. This is how the propaganda was spewed. And what she has been speaking about, she called in one of her interviews to Al Jazeera. That was again before 2014. He accuses Yogi Adityanath of narcophilia. And you want to assume that she has got a freedom of expression. Why did Congress stop the entry of Angna Chatterjee and her American husband? They belong to the same tribe. Anti-Indian constitution, Hindu phobia in India. So Narendra Modi, she spoke against Narendra Modi, and I don't think this is because of her. And let me tell you, these anti-India, Hindu-phobic vitriol that is being spewed across India is only to demonize Hindu. That's the reason across India, across the world, Hindus are being hated today because of people like them. And they get this certificate just because they are Hindus, they know better. And I think Congress is very ironic. The invitation to this lady, anti-India...
So in your opinion, she was denied a platform to undermine India's sovereignty and peddle her propaganda against the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, and that's what has irked so many who are today speaking for her. That's your opinion. Adil Nazir Khan, wouldn't you agree? Somebody who holds a British passport has a long history of disseminating falsehood about India. Why should that person be given a platform in India? Why is it a problem today?
Nitasha Kaul simply exposes the hypocrisy of BJP and RSS government, that they want only those Kashmiri Pandits who support them. They don't want those Kashmiri Pandits who criticize their policies, who criticize. Everyone has a right, whether in India or outside India, everyone has a right that Constitution of India has given to us under Article 19A, that's right to freedom of speech and expression. And I have a right to criticize both in a positive way or a negative way. You cannot stop me from that. And it's only because of that Nitasha Kaul is a critic of this current regime, BJP and RSS government. And I'm also critic of that. Does that mean that he will stop me
Okay,
out?
being a critic of the government and peddling anti-India narrative are two different things, sir. Everybody is open to criticism, but if you speak against the country, if you speak against Kashmir, if you're trying to peddle a certain narrative to create differences, then it can be very, very dangerous. I want Mohan Vishwa to come in as well, but before that, Lalit Ambardar wants to respond to you. Mr. Ambardar, then I need to quickly go across to Mohan Vishwa.
Yeah, listen. Let me tell the so-called mainstream Islamists of Kashmir. No Kashmiri Pandit, woman or man, worth of salt will ever collaborate with anti-India, people. Be Kashmiri or be otherwise. Let me remember it. Genocide survivors. We are not just ordinary Kashmiri Pandits. We are genocide survivors. Kashmir Jahaz. You are an apologist. You are an apologist. Your heart bleeds for Pakistan. Your heart bleeds for Rawalpindi. Pakistan and you want to poke the finger of Kashmiri Hindus and Kashmiri Hindus who have a Hindu name.
And I don't know how healthy it is really to allege that Kashmir was somehow not part of India before independence. Mohan Vishwa, would you want to quickly come in, because the allegation against the BJP is this is intolerance on part of the BJP. The BJP is not welcome to criticism, and that's why national capital Delhi has essentially blocked her visit to Karnataka.
See, the problem with the Congress is they are habitual offenders since 1947. By calling these kind of anti-national forces, they do organize these programs. And also the Congress, which is known for amending the constitution in just 46 seconds, even without convening a parliament in 1976, by imposing emergency, and they make a program on constitution, and they bring and they invite these kind of Nitasha Kaul or anti-India forces who says Kashmir is integral part of Pakistan. And also she was the one who called Burhan Wani a terrorist as a sympathizer, and she called him as a freedom fighter. And the people who were gathered in his, the death ceremony and all, she called them as a freedom fighters. And she says that Kashmir is integral part of Pakistan. And today, the same Congress who speaks about constitution and the freedom of speech also, come on, the same constitution says the freedom of speech should not be at the cost of compromising with the sovereignty of India. Anybody who compromises with the sovereignty of India should be punished. They should never be allowed to speak against India. And this lady, Nitasha Kaul, if you see her writings, if you see her speech, in the past also, she was totally against India only. That too, she was pro-terrorist and she was pro-Burhan Wani. And she was the one who opposed the removal of Article 370. Come on, what is Article 370 said? Article 370 gives a separate constitution for the Kashmir itself. That itself is a divisive politics. If you see the pattern since 1947, now the Congress, they know they are not going to win the election. They're making all these gimmicks, starting from Mr. Chidambaram.
So no one can be forced, Nikhil Jain, to believe that, here's a person who's not spoken of anti-India, a narrative, an anti-India narrative in the past. She's spoken of Islamophobic sentiments by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, wherein it's very interesting how the Prime Minister has been conferred with the top honors by at least 6 Islamic nations. Talks about, Ram Mandir being built on a site of conflict, wherein it's happened on the Supreme Court's order and direction. So that's the kind of person we're really talking about. Whether or not the Congress has failed to do a background check is something that everyone's finding hard to believe today. Gentlemen, we're going to have to head into a very quick break. Thank you for joining us this evening. That's all the time we have.